Welcome to this week's episode of the American Way TV. This week we've got Tony hunting in Indiana.
I've got my brand new dart and bow. We've got some big whitetails that we're going to be chasing this week. It's going to be a great show. You guys stick with us. You're watching the American Way.
Rags for riches about to get traded. This old boy's about to upgrade it. Living life the American way, yeah. Whoa, it's time to step it up. I gotta be in it to win it if I'm gonna be chasing big bucks. Whoa, gonna need a little luck, but you gotta be in it to win it if you're gonna be chasing big bucks.
We work to live.
But we live to hunt.
And why?
Because that's the American way.
You know, for us, deer season's 24/7 year-round. One season stops, the next just resets. It starts all over again. Whether we're hunting shed antlers as soon as season's over, we're putting in our mineral stations, we're putting out our Heartland blocks, we're running a battery of Bushnell trail cameras so that we know what made it through the season and what we have to hunt the season that's coming. And then early fall rolls around, it's time to get the Heartland Wildlife Institute food plots in. Once all that work's done, then we can take a breather a little bit and get ready for what's coming, Indiana whitetail season. We just put a brand new food plot in on this farm, and we've hunted here for probably 20 years, and we've always wanted food plots here, but it changed ownership and it finally got to the point where we could do that. So it's the 22nd of September and it's kind of at the end of the window, but we've got a ultra warm fall right now, so I'm sure we're going to get that done. So we just cleaned out the redneck there. We got a redneck blind sitting on a brand new Heartland Wildlife Institute food plot, and we're doing something that here in the Midwest is just a great tip for you guys. I'm a big, huge fan of mock scrapes, and somebody gave us the tip a few years back to use cedar branches. I've got cedar windbreak in front of my house, and so we started cutting these cedar branches, and we simply wire them off wherever we want to scrape, build a scrape underneath it. We'll use our Fatal Attraction deer scents. I've got regular buck and regular doe scent right now. It's early. I don't want anything that's in rut. But for whatever reason, these whitetails, when they find these cedar branches, it becomes the preferred place to scrape, and it'll just become a giant community scrape. So I promise you, if you try this, it'll work. So we're going to show you how we're going to get this done. We got a place in here we call a bowl. It's a killing spot. So we're going to get 2 scrapes in here, get them doped up with our Fatal Attraction. And I'm going to put my Bushnell Aggressor wireless camera in here, and I won't have to come back. And when I start seeing bucks work these scrapes in the daylight, we'll be in here. It's the 21st of October, and last night was the first evening that we've been out in Indiana. And what it told me is that we're real close to the pre-rut blowing up. The last couple of days I've been pulling cards off my Bushnell Aggressors, and the scrape activity's off the chart, but the majority of it's still in the dark, at least with the
mature bucks, but I think we're close, but I'm not sure we're there yet. But so now what we're doing is we're hunting these blinds, these new places, low impact. I'm hunting from a redneck tower blind tonight where I can do a lot of glass and the wind is good. I've got a real active scrape over here, and it'll just kind of let us see what's happening without boogering deer up. So, but we're at that point. You never know. Any hunt from this point forward, you could have a mature buck in the daylight. So we're going to see what happens. We had a pretty stout 4-year-old come in from the north, and he's been dogging this doe ever since he came in here. It's the 21st of October. It's kind of unusual to see him dogging does this hard this early, but it's encouraging because we've got a mature buck on the hoof at 5 o'clock. So it just tells me that we need to hunt. Now's the time, because these bucks are getting on their feet and they're thinking about finding girlfriends. So they're scraping everywhere, they're rubbing everywhere. It's almost ready to happen, but they're still moving real sporadic in the daylight. Every now and then you'll see one show up in the daylight, and otherwise it's right at last light. So that's why we're hunting here. We're hunting as close to this bedding area as we can, which gives us the best chance to catch a mature buck when he gets up on his feet. There's 5 or 6 big scrapes right here all around us. There's rubs all in sight, so we know we're in the right spot. So we're cabbed up. We're just gonna wait and see what happens, and hopefully one of these deer decide to come in here and hammer these scrapes tonight in daylight. Can you see? I can just see his tail. Real good look at him here. If he comes down. Oh, he's coming. Yeah. We call that buck the short G2. He's a buck that we passed a lot last year. He was a 3-year-old and he exploded. We've got a ton of Bushnell trail camera pictures of him. We knew he was stout, but we had no idea that he was that. I'd say he's easy 60s all day. I hit him with the illusion. I grunted at him 3 or 4 times, and you can see he covered 300 yards in about 10 minutes. He got down here behind us. We thought he was going to break in here in front of us onto the plot. He snort-wheezed at us twice, got straight downwind of us, and instead of breaking to come into the plot, he just moved right on down the edge of the timber. So everything was almost there. It almost fell into place tonight. The Adsco done its job. The scent blocker done its job. We had a mature buck straight downwind. He never got us. And the illusion done its job. It had him at 30 yards, so I thought we were going to close the deal on the 24th of October, so. But the big boys are on their feet. We'll get after them tomorrow. You guys are watching The American Way. It is an absolutely gorgeous day to be in the deer woods. It's the 27th of October. And it's time. I pulled a cart, not even 300 yards from the house, coming off a little food plot at midday today. And the same buck that I had the encounter with 3 nights ago, what we call the short G2 buck, a big 10-pointer. He's 1.5 miles up on the other end of the property, working a scrape in front of one of my bushnells. I got it on video. So I think it's becoming less and less about weather and feeding patterns and more about the date. It's the 27th of October, and these bucks are ramped up. You can look over my shoulder and see the results of it. There's 2 massive scrapes here. We just put this food plot in about 6 weeks ago. It's brand new. It's never been here. Brand new set. We've never sat in it. So I just think it's that time. It's time to be in the woods every day. I don't care if it's 75 or 35. It's time to be in the woods. So we're gonna get a victory out of the tight spot, and I'm gonna try to put one of these brand new 4-blade whack-ems to work. So let's see what happens tonight. You're watching The American Way. It's good to be here. Well, we've been sitting here since about 2:30. It's about 5:30 now. We just got a glimpse of a stud, and he looked like I had the Vortex optics on him, and he was working a scrape right there, and he stood there for a long time, and then he turned and he went back away from us, going back south. So he didn't get to us, but at least we know he's in the woods, and he was moving in the daylight, so that's encouraging. But he doesn't know we're here. He doesn't know he's being hunted. So that's probably not a good thing for him. So.
It all comes together on the 27th of October. My Indiana tag is filled. That whack-em broadhead just put it on him. He's laying 45 yards from the base of the stand. Don't even know what to say. No ground shrinkage on this buck. He looked good from 23 feet up, but sometimes you can get fooled. But there was no fooling on this deer tonight. Unbelievable. What a great Hoosier buck. And you know, everything came together tonight, and it's a new chapter here at The American Way. You know, my brand new Darton 3800 set up with my tight spot quiver, my brand new whack-em broadheads, victory arrows, and Axel sights, and it all came together. And my Indiana season is over with a great buck on the ground. And folks, if there's ever a happy ending, it's tonight.
Well, as usual, after a lot of hard work and preparation before season, Tony ends up with a great buck on the ground.
And you know, and we say it all the time, everything that you do leading up to deer season is what sets the table for the success that comes. And for me, I finally got to take that brand new Darton 3800 and a ripcord drop on a great Indiana whitetail. And you know, don't forget the Blue Collar Dollars program. Go to the AmericanWayTV.com, go to our webpage, look up the Blue Collar Dollars. Our sponsors are stepping up and they're helping you save money on all the gear that we use on the show.
That's right, and don't forget about our Facebook page. Go to the American Way TV Facebook, hit that like button, tell us you're entered to win. We're giving great gear away all season long.
And as we like to close the show each and every week, we ask each and every one of you to keep all of America's armed forces as well as all of our first responders in your thoughts and prayers. It's because of the sacrifices they make each and every day on our behalf that we enjoy the freedoms we do and that we sleep peacefully at night.
And remember, hunt hard,
work safe,
and God bless.